Hello friends, so welcome to our channel, Greeting Essence. I am Megan. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Hi, Mom.
Hi kiddos. It is a beautiful Thursday. We were supposed to have temps in the 60s and sunny most days, 1 or 2 days of rain this week. Instead, it's been mostly in the 40s, freezing cold and freezing rain. So it is really nice to be getting out here in some sunshine to be able to get some stuff done. I've been meaning to get these front flower beds weeded, really for months. I never actually got them cleaned out after last fall, hence all these dead gladiola stalks. But now we have some things like wild blackberry canes growing up, and unfortunately found out the hard way that when we let those things grow up around here, they bring disease to our red raspberries that we planted and kill them off. So I need to pull those out as well. We're also apparently not only getting an extra bit of rain, we're apparently stacking all the warmth we were supposed to have all week on one day. So today is a high of about 60, like was expected. Tomorrow's a high of 83 forecasted. So we've had a bit of extra rain, which is really making things grow and is fantastic. It's also making things very soggy right now, much more than usual. We're hoping to get the chickens out of their winter home this weekend and back into their chicken tractor and on the grass in the yard. But tomorrow, I think we're going to start by mowing the front lawn because it is a pretty intense mess. And we have tons of flowers growing right now for the bees to be fed. I mentioned in my March homestead update that we had some kind of aphids growing on the elderberries. So I was going to go after them with neem oil, because that tends to be our best natural and organic weapon against aphids around here. But the day I went out there with the spray bottle, I found that some ladybugs had been taking care of the problem themselves. So I've actually been able to just leave it alone, and the ladybugs have done a pretty great job taking care of all those aphids that were coating the tops of our elderberries. We still have some, and we've had a little bit of leaves die off, but I would so much rather let nature handle it the way it's meant to than to interfere, even if by organic methods. This end of the blueberries are done being weeded. We need to get some mulch down to suppress the rest of what's left that I couldn't get out by hand, and put a nice layer of mulch on top of that for the year. And I'm going to give this nice pile of greens to the chickens.
You cleaned that big pile?
Oh, yes I am.
Until wet?
Thank you. Here, girls. Oh, yeah. Look at those happy girls. There you go, girls. They love those big piles of greens. Chickweed and plantain.
Mama, why you put
and dead nettle.
lots of food in here? Because we got lots of chicken.
Oh, go back inside. Yep. They like a nice big pile of it. It has been so nice to see so many signs of life and so much new growth happening around here lately. The world looks a little chaotic these days. Today I went to do a grocery pickup from a local producer cooperative. And when I walked in, another woman was standing there. And I was not any closer than maybe 12 to 15 feet from her. And she looked up at me and I smiled. And the look that she gave me was like the eye contact was just too much social contact. She looked like she was downright angry with me. And she just spun on her heel and walked into the back room. Is that what the world's come to? We can't even look at a stranger and smile at them without seeming like we're spreading some germs. Hopefully she was just having a bad day and I happened to be the person who bore the brunt of her scowl at that moment.
Why you got white and black
Gloves?
gloves?
I have white and black gloves because I was weeding and I didn't want to get my hands all muddy because the soil is pretty moist right now. I'm really grateful that we're able to stay for the most part safely here at home, and this isn't a huge departure from our normal. This quarantine is pretty close to our normal, having an immune compromised child for the last 7 years. Schooling is the same, living is the same. The two exceptions are really that my husband's working from home every day, and when we go to the grocery store, there's not really a lot to choose from. We've really been appreciating the fact that this is so much our normal, when I know there's so much of the world that's in so much upheaval right now. I see so much all over social media, and I got off social media weeks ago. Between the beginnings of this virus outbreak and the primaries, there was just so much division and drama and downright hate between people that I just didn't want to see it. I got off Facebook. I've stayed on Instagram because that's largely drama-free, but what I have seen on there, especially in Instagram stories, is so many people just expressing their misery at being home, stuck with their children and spouse. And I understand that this is a huge departure from normal for so many. I would just encourage everyone to be careful what message you are sending to your kids. It doesn't matter if you're not saying specifically to them that they're driving you crazy or that you're stuck with them. They hear what you're saying. They feel your exasperation and your attitude. Don't add to their personal stress in this situation and make them feel unwanted and like a burden and like something that you can't stand being around. Look at this as an opportunity to spend extra time with your kids. And yeah, I know kids can go stir crazy being stuck inside, but I would really challenge you to try to notice the goodness and try to see the best in all of this. One of the worst things we can do is not only completely upend our children's entire sense of normal during this tumultuous time when they already are feeling so insecure because everything about their lives is so different, but then also through our attitudes and behaviors and things they read over our shoulders or things that they just hear us say to others, is to indicate that you don't like being around them and that you are stuck with them. And I know it's not a simple task, but I would beg you to look at this as an opportunity to be home with your spouse and with your kids. Not a burden. Every day, tell your kids at least as many times, if not twice as many times as you correct them for things, encourage them for things at least as many times, if not twice as many times as you have to correct them. Tell them how awesome you think they are. Tell them you love them so much. Tell them that you love spending time with them. Doesn't mean that that time, that 24/7 time with them is always easy. But you do love having them around. And maybe consider getting off social media. There's a lot of toxicity on there these days. Tell me how you guys are filling all these extra hours with your family these days. Tell me how you are reconnecting with your spouse with all this extra time together. How you're rekindling a friendship with them, even though it's so stressful these days. Tell me if you're gardening. What have you been able to do outside? What have you found is your family's favorite thing to do together in these extra hours? Tell me something good about your lives these days. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you liked this video, as always, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to hang out for more. We'll see you again soon.